This is your guide to the best online business model to start as a beginner in 2024. Over 90% of beginner entrepreneurs fail to choose the correct model for their current level, and that's most likely the reason why you're unable to find any sort of success with your business ventures. But in this digitalized era that we're living in, there are countless new opportunities arriving on the daily that will allow someone like you, a beginner, to finally quit your job and make a full-time income online. And these opportunities that I'm about to share with you are generating tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. But before you even get into what those are, it's very important that you understand why so much beginners fail with their online ventures. One of the reasons being that they choose a model that requires too much upfront investment. As a beginner, you more than likely don't have a whole lot of cash lying around, and even if you do, you spending that on a business that you're just starting on is more than likely going to guarantee you're going to burn through all that money trying to figure out how things should run. And as bad as that is, even more important is choosing a model that requires years of experience to generate good income with. Things like coding and trading are things that people generate millions with. But someone like you who is a beginner, of course, isn't that expert. Whoever you are, you can't lie and say that you don't want to make money as fast as possible. So choosing something that requires too much experience is essentially going to take too much time for you to learn how to get good at it before you're able to generate a good income with it. So, now that you understand what not to do, it's time for me to get to what the actual models are. Now, the first one is what is known as remote sales. Now, when you look at all of the favorite influencers, let's say tens, hundreds of thousands, even millions of followers, if they're selling any sort of product or service, then essentially they will have too much leads, and it wouldn't be feasible for them to hop on a call with every single one to close a deal. So that's where you would come in as a remote closer. Now, remote essentially means that you're not tied down to a specific location, and you can operate from anywhere around the world. As a remote closer, what you're responsible for is facilitating the purchase and decision of any high-priced item, or better known as high-ticket sales, meaning it has a starting price of $1,000 and can go anywhere up from there. Now, when it comes down to our remote sales teams, you have many different titles: DM setting, appointment setting, remote closer. But for this example, and the one that pays the most, we'll be talking about remote closing. Now, as a remote closer, you'll be making anywhere around from 10 to 15% commission. On an average, you'll be taking around 5 to 6 calls per day. So all it takes is some simple math to calculate that if you close on average, let's say 5 calls per week, for an average ticket price of $5,000, then you'll be making $2,500 per week or $10K per month, all just for talking to people on your phone. And remember, as a remote closer, you're talking to prospects that are already interested in the product or service. I just need a little bit more reassurance to make sure that they're spending their money on the right place, which essentially makes your job 100 times easier. Now, the biggest industries to look for clients is in the coaching space. Now, once you do that, try to look in their bio and see if they have anything along the lines of join, sign up, book a call, or apply. Now, once you send an outreach message to any potential client and it's been accepted, then you've just become a remote closer. The next business model that I'll be sharing with you is what is known as drop servicing. Now, drop servicing is very similar to drop shipping. Key difference is that instead of selling a physical product, this is a business model where you sell digital services to clients and outsource that work freelancers or contractors instead of doing it yourself. But essentially, you don't need hard to learn skills to see success with this business. And by the way, this is not even something new. You see, Airbnb doesn't have any hotels or any property, and Uber don't have actual taxis or cars. What they do is that they take advantage of something known as contractor arbitrage, and they connect the person who is in need of a service to a service provider. So essentially, you're just a glorified middleman, where you find service providers and find people in need of a service, you charge accordingly, and then you pocket the difference. Now, the first step to this is choose your niche. So essentially what industry you're going to go in, whether that be construction, content creation, whatever, pick something that you're interested in and that you know you could see yourself fulfilling a service on. Step 2 is that you need to choose your service. So let's say, for example, you got into construction and home renovation. Your service is you can help them get more leads and generate more sales by retargeting their ads and helping them run campaigns. And step 3 is to make money. Now, I need you to pay attention with right now. But this business model now, about to share with you, is quite literally the greatest opportunity right now for you to amass generational wealth and generate tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And this business model is something that you feed into on a daily basis when you go on your favorite social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. It's quite literally making teenagers, people in their early 20s, become multi-millionaires. And that business model is becoming an influencer. Now, there was a quote that I heard that resonated with me. I don't remember exactly who said it, but it goes like this. The quickest and best way to get rich is by getting attention and selling information. And listen, this might seem like something new because of this influencer economy that we're living in, but it is essentially how the basic premise of any business works. Back when newspapers were a big thing, the reason why they always printed about controversy is because that was the best way to get people's attention. People love drama, negativity, controversy, and that's what was generating them billions back in the days when they were dominant. And it's essentially the same thing now, but instead of newspapers like the New York Times, it's individual creators creating content and selling a course or a product around their content to their audience. And some of them even only got rich by teaching you how to get rich. Let's take, for example, someone you guys might look up to, Andrew Tate. He himself as a brand got big. He started posting content, going on podcasts, creating controversy, and he grew his personal brand, allowing him to be able to generate over 7 figures with his online education platform, The Real World, over 100,000 students in there. Now, the reason why this can work so effectively before now is because they know that the best way to captivate an audience is by sharing common enemy. He talks about the matrix, he talks about the media trying to keep young men down, broke and suppressed, trying to take away masculinity from society. And a lot of young men resonate with that. And that's why they're so cultivated by a figure like Andrew, because he plays into and speaks on their weaknesses and their insecurity, and he promises to be able to provide them with a solution. And that's why so many people flock to online courses and things that he has to sell. And you see, the thing is that this is way bigger than just products and services. This is how you create brands. Now, when you look at Fortune 500 or some of the biggest companies in the world that you instantly recognize, Apple, Google, Facebook, these aren't companies that you just see as providing products or services. These companies have created a brand around their name that has taken them from millions to billions and even trillions. Look at Apple, for example. The reason why I have so much die-hard Apple fans, they're able to sell tens, if not hundreds of millions of phones per year because they've created this walled garden around their brand, and they've been able to captivate a huge audience willing to buy anything that they sell. There are people out there who will buy the newest iPhone just because it's the newest iPhone. And that's what creating a huge brand does. It gives you loyalty. So when you look at other influencers, one secret that all of them have learned for achieving generational wealth is that products and services create millions, but brands create billions.